I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. Grand Rising, and thank you all for joining us on this Saturday edition of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and we'll be joined by our host,
will go live in 5
Zhana,
seconds.
live from London,
3,
right
2,
after this
1.
message. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. And if you are watching us live on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show, we want you to write in your comments and make sure you share this show. We will be right back after this brief message, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms. And we are back. You are listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and today our conversation is all about love. Yes. What does it take to make a love relationship work? Well, we want you to think about if you have had a relationship that didn't last and maybe it ended bitterly. Well, today, joining us live from London, our host, Zhana, will be talking to Attorney Wende Williams, who's a candidate for Cook County Circuit Court judge, and she brings 25 years of experience in family law court, and she's seen some amazing patterns of divorce. What really happens when a relationship falls apart? What is on the inside? And what causes the distress that breaks the love relationship? Were there things that people didn't see in themselves and others before they got together? Well, we'll talk about that. And we invite you to call in. We are live on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show on YouTube and Facebook. And you can call in to our Blog Talk channel, 515-605-9325. And we're also live on the On Air Radio Network, 727-731-5192. And as always, we appreciate you for adding your wisdom and being part of the solution. And we're going to go to this quick reminder once again for those who may be wanting to reach out and share some more news about something you have to offer. Well, we reach a global platform every day. And if you've got something to share with the world, we want to give you a chance to do it. So we'll be right back after this brief message. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back, so stay with us. Hi, I'm Naima Latif. And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. Yes, you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. That's what it's all about, reaching a global marketplace from right there in your own home. And we've got some people who are joining us today, and they have a thought to share. And Grand Rising to our dear Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda Speaks. And she says, Grand Rising, watching you live from the south side of Chicago. Well, there's some great things happening here on the south side of Chicago that we want to share with you. We've got some programs that are helping to enhance people's lives, and we're here to bring you live some comments from people who are attending these events. Today, we are certainly excited to be bringing you more conversations from men who are certainly wanting to make a difference, and they are choosing to come together and talk about it at a special men's summit meeting. And our guest today will be joining us from that summit meeting. And this is a men's summit at the Shine Bright Community Discover Center at 8560 South Cottage Grove Avenue in Chicago, going on today. It says, join us for our first ever men's summit. We have exceptional speakers ready to give all men the keys to success. Well, that's a critical point because we know that men really struggle in this society. There's so much pressure on men right now because a lot of the culture has changed and it's undefined, and men aren't always sure what the right thing is to do. They get criticized for making the wrong choices and being too macho, the toxic male who learns that you're supposed to suppress the voice of a woman. But at the same time, they're expected to be sensitive. And when they are, sometimes they're accused of not being manly enough, not being strong enough. So there's a lot of confusion sometimes among men. And so when it comes to love relationships, sometimes they're not sure what to do because women are changing and women are expressing different expectations. Women are independent and assertive. And so there are mixed signals. Men are still expected to be the breadwinners and the strong voices of guidance and discipline for children. And yet they're supposed to be able to change a diaper and cuddle a child and understand when a woman just needs to be held because she's crying and sad and hurt and needs comfort. They're supposed to know how to do all these things. But many of our men have been deeply wounded in life with experiences that have made them feel like nothing. So we're going to bring on the screen this special men's summit, and we'll be bringing on our Saturday morning host, Zhana, as she prepares to talk to our guest attending this summit. And she'll be talking to Attorney Wende Williams, whose 25 plus years of family law gives her some insight, especially during these times when men are going through some severe difficulties and struggling to try to figure out what it really means to be a man. And are they ready for the challenges of today's manhood? And are they given guidance on the new cultural expectations? So many men are going into relationships after having experienced divorce, and they really don't know what to do because they don't want to experience failure again. And they're often in pain from the past. So, how do we give them the assurance that they're going to be accepted despite their mistakes? So, if we're expecting these things from the men, are we ready to forgive their mistakes? And what about the women? How are we going to learn how to be both assertive and nurturing? Sometimes our assertiveness can be crushing to the male ego. And when we're raising sons, we are defining for a man what love from a woman feels like. And sometimes it's pretty harsh, the feeling that we're giving them. Because when we're raising a son, and sometimes we're a single mother raising a son, we feel like we have to be hard like a man so that our sons can face the world. And so sometimes we're not as nurturing. Sometimes we're lacking in affection, and we don't know. We don't know.
Number 2 in Chicago.
We don't know how hurtful our words can be. So we're going to bring on our Saturday host, and we've got some callers, and we're excited because we're going to be talking to Attorney Wende Williams, who is attending this men's summit meeting that is going to perhaps give us some insight on how men think and what they're experiencing. And let us bring on our dear sister, Zhana, live from London, England. Thank you so much for giving us your wisdom today about love. And we're going to be bringing on Attorney Williams real soon. But of course, this month on the Female Solution, it's all about love. And one of the most important things we can learn and teach is self-love. So take it away, Wende. Zhana. We're expecting Wende in just one moment.
Happy February, everybody.
Yes. Greetings. It's evening there in England.
This is Zhana.
Yes.
And I'm the host of the Success Strategy Show on the Female Solution Worldwide Radio and TV Network. It's February, everybody, so happy February. I'm here on the first Saturday of every month to help you to find solutions and strategies for any problems or challenges you may be experiencing. We're here to help you make 2024 your best year yet. If you have a question for me or for my guest, please phone 515-605-9325. Outside of the United States, the number is 001-515-605-9325. You can also find us on YouTube at The Female Solution and on Facebook at The Female Solution. As we know, I just want to say Happy Black History Month or African Heritage Month to everyone.
Yes.
It's called African Heritage Month. February is Black History Month or African Heritage Month in the U.S.
Yes.
We celebrate the official Black History Month in October, but really every month is Black History Month. And as a link below to my most recent conversation with Brother Attorney Wende, who runs Learning the Black History Walk, and he recently brought out a book entitled Black History Walks in London. He's always putting loads of information and so is his book. So have a listen, a link is below. And I always learn something when I speak with Brother Tony. My guest today is family law expert Wende Williams, and we are talking relationships. She will talk about what makes a relationship work and why relationships break down. She has, I believe, 25 years of experience as an attorney, and she's now candidate for Cook County Circuit Court Judge.
Yes.
As Elton John and Bernard Talkman said, we also in love sometimes. The human heart has an amazing, unlimited capacity for love. And Valentine's Day celebrates all different kinds of love, including parental love, sisterly love as our friends, then you know that we have to our pets. But these days, the focus seems to be more on romantic love. So, welcome, Attorney Williams.
She hasn't joined us yet, but she will be in just one moment. But we've got some callers on the line that want to add to this conversation. So as we await our guest, we'll certainly. So we've got Mama Joy on the line. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Mama Joy is on the on-air radio network line, and go right ahead, Mama Joy.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Welcome, Mama Joy. Wow, welcome to you too. Oh, I tell you, I'm excited about your coming on and bringing us this attorney. I am excited about the topic too about our men, the concern about them. And sometimes it takes a while for you to really know how important men are and how valuable they are. I used to talk about truck drivers all the time. Tell them, oh, they're disgusting and driving, they don't care, blah, and doing a lot of things. But then my son became a truck driver. And I realized, as my goodness, I need people to pray for him. Because it's my son. And I think that sometimes we forget, but this today, each one of us is a child of some mother's love. That's right. That's right. They have value. As human beings, we tend to put each other down, not realizing that it's not the value that we see in others. It is coming through that lack of value of ourselves. And now, love and self-appreciation is so important. It is. Because I love you. I love the female solution, the topics they bring. I'm starting to look at young men, and as I began to age, I realized how important the elders are, how valuable our experiences are. And I went to a meeting we had with the police, and they were awarding two of the gentlemen who were present when the female officer, she was about 27, I believe. And so when I went to this meeting, congregation, Naima, all I could see was my children.
Wow.
All I could see was my children. Because when I was they're all of our children, aren't they?
Yes.
Right. All of it, I was with all of our children. And we were responsible for that. Right. And I remember a few years ago, this lady, Zhana from Black History Studies, was saying that, when we see young people, listen, Zhana was somebody with Black History Studies anyway, when we see young people, particularly young men, we don't go up to them and say hi to them. Now, you may not know them, but we want them to know that the elders care about them. And so now I have a practice that I see a bunch of young men. I don't always do this because I have to feel safe.
Right.
But, sometimes I will go up to them and say, what are you up to? What have you been doing? Oh, you just graduated from high school. Okay, so what are your plans?
Yes.
Just to know that people in the community care about them.
Yes.
It's true. Because these gentlemen were still traumatized. And I never felt that before. You're right. That's what we should do. Get into practice. I like what you said. Yeah. Get into make a practice of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. Letting the young people know And I'm an older now, so I can say this. I'm not everybody's granny now.
Ah.
Future.
Yes, that is true.
Exactly. Well, I thank you. What we got live. It's really the same club.
Yep. Seasoned women.
That's our responsibility.
Yes.
That's right. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to look after the next generation.
That is right. That's right.
Good work. So we'll leave you with that. And thank you so very much for taking my call.
Well, thank you so much. And before you go, Mama Joy, Reverend Mama Joy is here live over every second Saturday of the month on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. So do you have the next Saturday's?
Next Saturday, yeah. Next Saturday, we're going to be dealing with dreams. Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah. You know, as a master of vision, I had not practiced in a long time. And so when I found him and got into this book, I said, oh my stars, I got to get back in my dream book. And just okay. Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Walk in your authority. So I'm going to set you free and let you walk in your power and your authority this morning.
Well, thank you so much, Mama Joy. We appreciate you so very much for sharing your insight and wisdom and understanding, and most of all, your spirit. We appreciate you so very much. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
and that was Mama Joy. Yes, and of course, you just put your phone on mute and.
I was just saying, Valentine's Day celebrates 3 different kinds of love. Although the instances is on romantic love, it actually celebrates all different kinds of love.
Yes, and Mama Joy says, Grand Rising to you and the wonderful crew of the Female Solution. Yes, and thank you for being part of that crew. Reverend Mama Joy, yes, she does such a wonderful job. And this is really a wonderful time to be alive. I always say that because this is a time of transitions into higher consciousness. We're here to look at our mistakes that we've made so that we can learn from them and therefore become better people and raise better people. Yes.
I'm very worried about the future, and I try not to talk about it too much because I think the more we talk about peace, the more we can bring about peace.
Absolutely.
The world at the moment seems to be moving in a different direction.
And that's why we have to move it back in the other direction.
About peace and thinking peace.
Yes. We have to think peace and speak peace into existence. We have the power to do that. And the exciting thing about it.
Yes, we do. And cultivate peace within our own hearts.
Yes.
The more we can cultivate peace within our own hearts, the more we can bring about peace in the world around us.
That is right. That's how it happens. So, and you mentioned this is all about all kinds of love. People focus on romantic love because it's kind of the foundation of what builds families, and families are the foundation of what builds the society. Whatever is happening in the society, it first happened in our homes. I think it's a Ghanaian saying that the ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people. So whatever's happening outside, it started in our house.
As a Buddhist, we have a lot of emphasis on going forth. And there's a lot of people, starting with the Buddha himself, he couldn't actually make spiritual progress where he was living with his father, who adored him, and his wife and his little baby son. So he had to go forth and leave them behind because he wanted to seek enlightenment. So there's a lot of encouragement. In our tradition, there's a lot of encouragement for people to leave home, leave the family behind. But after he attained enlightenment, he went back to his father, and he taught his father how to attain enlightenment. And I believe he taught his foster mother as well, who was his auntie. And the family became enlightened. But sometimes you have to be the first one. You have to be the one that takes the first step into the unknown to seek the truth. And then once you find it, then you can come back and bring it to your community, to your home, to your family.
That is true. That's true. And if you are the one in your family who's enlightened, that's what you have to do.
Definitely not the kind of nurturing environment that I needed when I was growing up. So I left and I moved to a different country.
You know what I've learned?
I'm sure there was a lot of love there, but there was also a lot of trauma and traumatizing behavior.
Yeah.
And I just decided I needed to be somewhere else. So I am now.
Yes. And
it's not been easy, but if you look for it, that song "Love Is All Around Us." I mean, that might sound really corny, but I love that song.
yes.
I think that song is absolutely brilliant because it's true. Love is all around us all the time.
Yes, it is. Love is all around us. You know what I've discovered?
All different kinds of beings, spirit guides who are around us all the time.
Yes.
Who are protecting us and guiding us and nurturing us.
Yes.
And, if we don't have a nurturing environment or we don't come from a nurturing environment, we can still create one.
That's right. We can still create one.
We have to be family for each other because we left our families behind. We have to be family for each other.
Yes. A lot of people don't have good relations with their actual blood family, but that doesn't mean you can't still have the experience of having a family because, like you say, they're family all around us. And sometimes the best friend that you grew up in school with, that becomes more like your sister than the sister that's in your household, just because that's the one who
Absolutely.
shows you love. That's the one who's there for you. That's the one who you can talk to and get compassion from. Your sister they grew up in the household with, you might learn to bully you, might learn to tease you mercilessly, might have been even violent towards you because of whatever was happening on the inside of them. Maybe they were not capable of being a loving sister.
Right.
You have families that pit the siblings against each other.
You see how narcissistic parents, I do have a narcissistic mother. What tends to happen is everybody else sort of gathers around the narcissistic parent and colludes with them.
Yes.
And then one person gets scapegoated.
Yes.
So one person is basically blamed for everything. So that was me. I was the one who was scapegoated. And it was horrible, but the good thing about it was it prepared me for life. It prepared me for life, because scapegoating can happen anywhere.
Yes, it can. And that's interesting that you look at it that way, that it prepared you for life. Because
it really did.
We come into families that already have challenges, parents that have issues and
Yes.
some of them are really awful. But what that does for us, it teaches us how to overcome that.
Today I've been watching all these YouTube videos, and I normally do not watch true crime. I don't watch it on TV. We have a lot of it. I don't know about over there, but I'm assuming you have it over there. But
yes.
Programs about true crime over here, and a lot of them come from the States. And I don't watch them because I don't see the point of it. But I don't know why. For some reason, all these true crime videos have started coming into my feed, right, on YouTube. Maybe because I've been looking at stuff about Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
And now he's been to pay $83 million to this woman who he raped, sexually assaulted.
That is just outrageous.
Been lied about and called her a lie. This is the thing, he defamed her. That's why he's having to pay so much money. And I don't know if that's why, but I've been getting all these true crime videos today, and I've been watching them thinking, why are these coming into my feed? And there's so much of it. And some of the things that parents do to their children is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Some of the things that siblings do to each other. So we need to cultivate love and peace within our own heart.
Yes.
It's the only way to change the world.
Yes.
It's the only way to do it. We can't be waiting for somebody else to change, right?
That's right.
We have to do it.
That's right. And I've observed that people who come from challenging circumstances where parents are mean and cruel and unloving, those are the people who learn how to love because they've had to overcome that. So that actually becomes a benefit, just like being born in a wheelchair where you may have had to use your arms to roll the wheels. Now you've got exceptionally strong muscles in your arms, more than the average person.
Yes. Get stronger. Yeah.
Yes. So anything you had to overcome makes you stronger in that area, which of course you wouldn't know that growing up. Growing up, you're so busy fighting to survive and mentally survive.
Yeah, that's right.
That you don't realize that you're actually developing a strength, and that helps you to be able to help others.
Absolutely.
Who need that strength.
Even when we're adults, it can take a long time to heal from trauma. I know you've written a book about healing from trauma.
Absolutely.
I'm working on my book, which is largely to do with healing. From trauma, success strategies for Black people. Hoping to bring it out.
Yes.
Later on in the year, because I had a catastrophe happen where my hard drive fell. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, we know that.
that tech. But I'm working on getting my hard drive fixed. Anyway, like I said, that's a whole other conversation. But sometimes as human beings, we have to fix ourselves. We have to heal ourselves. It's the only way forward. So I've got someone on the line, so I'm thinking we need to go to a commercial.
Yeah, we're going to go to commercial, and then we'll come back to 312-632. We'll come to you after the break. And you are watching and listening to the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and we have with us our first Saturday of the month host, live from London, Zhana. And this is Success Strategies with Zhana. And we'll be back. And soon we'll be talking to Attorney Wende Williams, who is running for judge of the Cook County Circuit Court. And she's got 25 plus years of experience in the courtroom in family law, watching couples battle it out. And she can give us some insight on why that happens. What happened to the love? Well, maybe there were some things we didn't see about ourselves and the other person before we even got involved. So we'll talk about that when we come back. And we
maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely something I'm not saying.
We didn't see it.
Can deal with, don't we?
Yes. Well,
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll talk more.
Hi.
We all say we would like
to. And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion.
Is determined by your power to define what money is. The dictionary defines money as something used as a way to pay for goods and services and to pay people for their work. So how would you like to have access to an unlimited source of money? Money that is not taxed by the government. Money that increases as you share the opportunity with others. Money that you can use to pay for goods and services and pay people for their work. I'm talking about Bitcoin. It's the future of independent wealth building. Bitcoin is the new money that you control. Get started building your wealth. Call 312-849-3456. That's 312-849-3456. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts. On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news, and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insight, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time.
And we're back.
We are back.
Welcome back. My guest is, and I'm just going to let her read.
I think that is another caller.
Hi, welcome to Success Stories with Zhana. Who's on the line?
Everyone else is back.
Okay, welcome, Edna.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here at the 87th and Cottage Grove, about a block away. So I'm about to walk up to where Sister Naima and Wende Williams is.
Yes. Well, we will certainly look forward to hearing your perspective on what you see and hear at the men's summit meeting. So we're gonna mute your mic for now, and then bring you back on when you're inside, and give you an opportunity to hear a bit of their presentation, and then we'll open your mic back and get your comments. And we always love to hear from the men, because that gives us a perspective on how we're really influencing them, how we're really having an impact on them. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we're really not aware of
that's right.
how the things we say and do are affecting them. And men tend not to speak sometimes. They tend not to always tell us.
Often have trouble talking about their feelings.
Yes.
I'm really interested in hearing about this men's summit, which is happening today at the Shine Bright Community Discovery Center, and what that's all about. So I think it's so important that we get together and talk about things. Women have been getting together and talking about things officially since the 1970s, but unofficially a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
And men sometimes are reluctant to show their weaknesses or their vulnerabilities. They don't want to talk about things. And sometimes they need to talk about things, but they don't. So I guess the men's summit is going to be a great opportunity for them to share their experience.
Yes. And I think also it's good.
Have you heard about the post office scandal that we've been having going on?
No. What's happening with that?
Oh, it's really, really bad. What happened about a month ago? Once upon a time, there were only 3 TV stations. Now we have loads, like everywhere. But there's only BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV, which I think stands for Independent Television. Anyway, we still have all those stations. We have a lot more now. But on ITV, they did this drama about a month ago about the post office scandal, where the post office had had put in a new computer system called Horizon, which was made by Fujitsu. All of this is in the public domain.
Yeah.
And it was going bad. It was causing problems from the moment it was installed. And the post office kept pretending that there was nothing wrong with it. And a lot of postmasters, we have this called sub-postmasters, which are people who own a shop, and then they might have a post office in the back of their shop. They started being accused of stealing money, or this was being told money's gone missing. Money's gone missing. Money's gone missing, and your contract says that you have to replace it. And some people kept putting in all their money, all their savings. And some people were accused and convicted of false accounting. Some people were sent to prison.
Oh dear!
Over 900 people, I think, were sent to prison.
Oh my!
And the post office wouldn't admit that there was a problem. But you know what the post office said to every single sub-postmaster? You're the only one.
Wow. Wow.
You're the only one. So only because this drama came out, because this has been going on for more than 20 years now, only because this drama came out last month, that all of a sudden everybody's up in arms, and the parliament is saying we need to do something about it, and the prime minister is saying we need to do something about it, which is good, but this has been going on for 20 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
People have lost everything. But, I mean, people have gone bankrupt. You know, they've lost their homes, they've lost everything. But one thing that struck me was that women were phoned up Horizon to get some help and advice and support. They were all told, you're the only one.
What a cover up.
Nobody else has reported these things.
Nobody else having problems, it's just you.
Thinking that we're the only one.
That's,
you get me?
Yes, that is, and that's what creates trauma. You know, when you're going through something and nobody, what they call it, gaslighting, people treating you like it's all in your, it's just you, nobody else having that problem. It must just be you, something wrong with you. And you can go through life believing that, and then you realize it's not just you. Yes. Yeah, that is exactly what happens often. And, you know, I think that we should always, whenever we're having a problem, we should ask other people if they're going through the same thing. Because sometimes,
yes,
you know,
talk to professionals, because sometimes professionals can give us a better perspective.
Yes.
When we think we're the only one.
Yes.
And we can become very isolated, but it's hard. It is hard to ask for help when you need it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's very, very hard to ask for help. And then what I was finding for years with mental health services is that because of the way I present, right, I come across as very confident, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would, and articulate, which I am.
Yes.
And so they would assume if I didn't have any problems.
Yes.
And when I say people, I mean mental health professionals.
Yes. They say, well, what's wrong? You're fine.
Time until I got an advocate, and then I started getting some decent support. But I still have to fight for it sometimes.
Yes.
Because they stereotype people. If we got mental health problems, I didn't know what they expect. Do they expect you're going to be crying all the time?
That's what they think.
I wasn't brought up to cry in front of people. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. And I grew up being teased very badly for crying.
So,
you know, and now that I think about it, I grew up being teased because when I was very young, I was very, very sensitive and I would cry all the time. You know, people can be very merciless when it comes to teasing you. Ah, you're crying, baby. Mm-hmm. So I learned very early not to show my emotions. And so now I don't display when I'm sad because of being ridiculed out of that. And so people won't know if you're sad, if you're grieving, if you're distressed, if you have learned to suppress those because of the way our society treats people if they show any kind of vulnerability. And that's why, you know,
I think it's a cultural thing as well, Naima, because in slavery time, if you showed vulnerability, then basically you became a target. And I found this in my own family. When I was vulnerable, I became a target. And Henry Louis Gates did this program, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or something, where he traveled all around Africa, different countries. And when he was in South Africa, he went to this church, and where the altar stands now, it used to be a slave auction block. And they would take people, they'd hang them up, on some kind of structure, and they would whip them.
Yes.
And if anybody called out or cried out or fell down or anything like that, they would kill them.
Isn't that horrifying?
Because they weren't strong enough. So we have this deeply embedded in our history of not showing any vulnerability. Because when you show vulnerability, you become a target.
That's so horrible. That's so horrible. But that's where a lot of men and women are, where they cannot show any kind of vulnerability, or you'll be picked on more, and you'll be, and like you mentioned, even killed, brutalized. So to be beaten.
Exactly.
I remember Oprah Winfrey talked about that. Yes. And how many people got beatings as children, and then they were told to shut up as they were getting beaten? You're getting whipped with some device, or a branch, a cord, something awful. And then as you cry, which you do when you're in pain, then you're told, shut up. And that is the trauma that we're all carrying, and when I hear people say ridiculous things like, oh, the problem with these children is that they're not getting enough spanking, they're not getting whipped enough. I think, how traumatized were you that you were beaten and it scarred you? You had this horrifying personality that everybody knows that you have but you, and yet you think that the remedy for our children is to beat them the way you were beaten so they can turn out awful like you. I wanted to say that to so many people, but
The thing is, because that's all someone knows, because that's what someone's experience. And of course, it's going to inflict the next generation, or they will inflict it on the next generation, and this will just keep happening until we heal it. I've got this new project which is running, this is called holistic parenting, and one of the reasons I started it is that one reason I'm teaching nonviolent communication, particularly to parents. And I walk through my neighborhood and I see parents saying things like, well, if you cry, I'm going to beat you. Which is what I was told when I was a child.
Yes, if you cry, I'm going to beat you. So you get beaten for crying. Right. So how awful is that? You're a child. The only way.
I want all parents to develop these skills, right? Because everything is all about it's all about empathy. So if we develop empathy skills and the parents develop empathy skills, then the next generation will benefit. And let me tell you one little thing, which is that Marsha Rosenberg. Oh gosh, my cat! I don't know why she decided to fighting me now. I might have to take it to the vet because she's normally very gentle.
Yeah, there's some reasons for that. I think I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on what that means.
She wants to make sure I don't forget her on those.
Yeah.
That's not nice. But Marsha Rosenberg, who said more or less invented nonviolent communication, he tried working with people in Israel and Palestine. And he worked with them for a while and he wasn't getting anywhere. So he decided he was going to have to work with the children. So he started working with the children and he started making progress. And I think that's what we need right now. A whole bunch of NBC trainers need to be in Israel and Palestine and in Gaza right now.
Yes.
Teaching the children.
That's right. I agree.
These skills, because I'll tell you something. All these bombings and whatnot and all these killings and everything that's going on in Gaza, that's teaching the children something else.
Yes.
That's teaching the children to be violent. And they're learning this lesson at a very early age.
Yes. So if we're going to change what's going to happen in the future, we have to start with the children, because the adults, they're too far gone. They have difficulty changing the way they think. And you have to go through a whole metamorphosis.
And a lot of Jewish people in different parts of the world really identify personally with Israel. So
yes.
When Israel is attacked, they take it as a personal attack.
Yes.
So that's a problem that goes very, very deep. But I remember when 9/11 happened, right? And I was living here in London, where I still live now. And I felt like it was a personal attack because New York is my hometown.
Yes.
I remember what that was like.
Yes. I mean, you're angry. You're angry at the perpetrators. Yes. Yes.
This is the personal attack. Naima, this is on the stream that's left is 2 minutes. Can you see it?
I'm going to look and see. Stream. No, it's 1 minute and 1 hour and 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
Okay, excellent. Because my one says 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes now. So
okay. Well, you know what? To make sure you're on the right one.
Just telling you, that's what it says. Stream left is 2:28, 2:27, 2:26. It's counting down. So if that shouldn't go off the air, you know why. Yeah?
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's where are we at? Let's go to. I'm gonna play a video commercial while you sign back on, just to make sure that you're on the right one.
Okay, well, I'm doing this back on though, but I can do that. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Let me give you a number to call. Another number, the other number to call in. The on-air radio network.
Okay. Let me put this. Let me get a sheet of paper. Okay. What's the number?
That is. Oh, I guess you dial the country code, the 001, and then 727 731
727
731. Yes, 731
731
5192.
5192. Okay.
All right. All right. We're gonna play this quick commercial while our host signs back on the on-air radio network, and we'll be right back. So stick and stay, everybody. And we put her beautiful face on screen so you can see our host, Zhana. We'll be right back. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're 3 Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also 3 sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're 3 Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 3 Black Moms. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home
while your business is making you money.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are part of the online network of associated internet radio hosts, On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insight, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time.
All right, we are back.
Welcome back.
Yes, all
So
right.
what time do you think this lady, like, is going to be saying us?
Let me see if our caller who is on site at the event now, I believe, and Admiral Nelson Bay, we have opened your mic. Are you at the event now?
Yes, thank you. I'm here at 86 in Cottage Grove, and there was some individual in a car, like a black SUV, that mentioned my name and called me a fraud. So I'm standing there waiting to see if the faggot will show his face out of his vehicle.
Well, I'm gonna close your mic for a minute, let you handle that, and we're gonna open your mic in a little while and see if you're inside. And if you get inside, please remind our guest Wende Williams, if you recognize Attorney Wende Williams, and let her know we're waiting for her to come on. I've texted her the number as well as the StreamYard link if she wants to join us visually. And certainly be safe out there, avoid unnecessary confrontations. Yes. I mean, sometimes people say things that are insulting, but what I have learned is not to give power to people by giving them attention when they say something about me that is less than complimentary.
Complimentary. Well, true.
Yes. Sometimes it's not even true, and if you let people upset you, they will. And that's why it's important not to allow it. Because it's so easy to be taken away from your inner peace. And that's also, I find, part of self-love. If you feel good about yourself, then there's nothing someone can say that triggers your anger if they insult you, because you already know that what they're saying is incorrect. It's only if there's some feeling in you.
Triggered, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's not quite as simple as that, because we don't know what's going on in anybody's life or anybody's mind in any given day. So sometimes we do get triggered. But my thing is that we need to find ways to communicate so that even when we get triggered, we still have ways that we can behave respectfully towards another person, and another person can, behave respectfully towards us, and we have some kind of understanding. Because there's always going to be people who trigger us, I'm afraid.
That's true. And what a trigger is, it's a recollection of a memory of being hurt before. Yeah. So they're actually bringing you back to a moment in the past.
Right now. Yes. We might look like they're saying that we're normal, but that doesn't mean we really are.
Right. You never know. And when someone behaves in a way that is unexplainable, suddenly being upset, suddenly what you might see is overreacting. They're not reacting to you. They're reacting to something in their mind that happened in the past that hurt them. So it's an old wound that you just hit. You poked it, and they're saying, ouch. You didn't cause the wound, but you hit the sore spot where it occurred. And that's what they're responding
to. Exactly. So we never know really when that's going to happen. So
you never know.
We have a strategy that we can use, because we know that it will happen.
Yes.
Right. At some point it's going to happen. So we have to have strategies that we can use. And you see, I personally think that NVC, along with NVC nonviolent communication, is to do with prevention. Right? So that we don't get to that point where we're that triggered.
So what does NVC teach when it comes to, say you said something that was innocent, you just made a remark, and a person responds with extreme anger at you? How do you defuse that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing with NVC is that we tend to be very, very specific, because the first step in this process is the observation. So if you can give a specific example, then we can talk through it if you want.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So I'll give you an example of something happened to me. I said to a person, I said to them, we were at an event, and there was an issue over a chair. They had been sitting there first. I didn't know that. I came and sat down in the chair, and then when they came back, they said, "Oh, that was my chair," and I'm just joking around. And I looked and said, Oh, I'm sorry. I see your name is right here on there. Oh, let me get up. I didn't have my glasses on. I didn't see it. No, of course I'm joking. There was no name on the chair. When it was ridiculous for them to say it was my chair. So I'm making a joke. And they went off. I mean, they, I was sitting there. You think you got a right to just take over things and just do what you want to do?
You think you're this.
Yeah.
You think you're that. Right? Yeah. It's not a very familiar. You're not able to stop with my reaction.
So I want to know, wait a minute, now what could have triggered that?
We need to be able to work out what the person's feelings and needs are, right? So we know that they're angry.
Yes, they were angry.
And the first thing is, how do you feel? How do you remember feeling when this happened?
How I felt? I felt
Yeah,
like,
how did you feel?
well, first I was surprised, and then I
Yeah.
thought, is this something about me this person's been harboring all this time? Is this resentment coming from somewhere? I mean,
Did you know this person already?
I knew them, but not that well.
Yeah.
Because you kind of know, everybody who goes to events, activist types, that kind of thing, so everybody sort of knows who everybody is, even if you don't really associate with them. So I knew them, but we weren't friends. We weren't like someone who would know me personally and be able to have an assessment of my personality as somebody who's always trying to, get her way or whatever she was accusing me of, and I'm thinking, now, how could you don't know me? Number one, that's not true. Number two, you don't know me well enough to even have an opinion. And number three, I was making a joke. I'm laughing. Obviously, I'm not serious. So,
example of the kind of problems that we deal with every day, the kind of problems that we address with NBC, because they happen every day.
mm-hmm.
So what I would say, first thing is, do you remember how you felt at the time? Were you shocked? Were you angry?
I was shocked. I was shocked. And then I went into, because there's a thing that I do when somebody does something that takes me away from my state of peace. It's like trying to rebalance my energy so that I diffuse anything inside of me that would make me respond in kind. So I have to think, pause first, don't react, control your facial expression, so that I looked neat. I made
and how did you learn to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I don't know if you call it a defense mechanism or whatever, but it's to make sure I control my face so that no one knows when they've upset me. So, I put this sort of smile on my face, and only my close friends know it's a mask. But
so you're basically feeling scared, and you have got a need to be safe.
Yes.
This is what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, so,
I at that point was to be safe. It was safety.
Yes. So
that's good that you've connected with and identified what you needed in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. I needed to not feel like she had affected me.
In the situation. So do you have any idea what her need might be in this situation? Apart from the fact that maybe she was tired or something and she needed to sit down. I think she had some other needs going on as well.
Well, apparently sitting in that particular chair symbolized some sort of status that she thought she should have had. And by me sitting there seemed to have threatened whatever status she thought that represented.
So it would have to be something else. In addition to focus. Sorry, I'm not saying that that's not happening.
Yeah.
But anything that would be considered a strategy rather than a need. Mm-hmm. So what do you think that the need might be? And this is what we do in NBC. We try to guess the need.
Yes.
Let me be very, very clear about this. The purpose of this is not to work out what the need is, okay? Mm-hmm. The purpose of this is to connect with the person.
Right.
And let the person know that we genuinely care about his or her needs.
Yes.
You get me?
Yes. And
what do you think pain might have been at that moment? Did you need to feel safe? Did you need to, I don't know, I would just guess, right? We call it an empathy guess sometimes.
I mean, I think my greatest need was to not let her, not to appear to have been hurt or embarrassed at all by her outburst. For me not to appear to have been.
What I'm thinking is that that's a safety need.
Yes. Because she kind of attacked my character. So, in her attacking my character, I had to not let her rattle me or take me out of my personality of peace and joy and cheerfulness, even though what she said was mean. And
of course.
And so even as I was,
Okay.
because I could have battled her and said, well, look, you got up, so you lost your seat. I had already chosen to get up and give her the seat, but I wanted to do it in a way that showed that, I'm choosing to give you the seat because you're acting childish, not because, you have intimidated me in any way, which is maybe probably why I sort of made a joke about it.
This was a safety. That's why I didn't want to show any vulnerability.
Right. Yeah, I would say that's it. Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Safety, right. Okay, so that's good. It's good that you're in touch with that need. That's really important. So the next thing is you could try and guess her needs. That's how things get resolved. If she knows that you really genuinely care about her needs, then she's more likely to be receptive to your needs, which is basically how NBC works. If you show and demonstrate that you genuinely care about her needs, then she's more likely to respond positively to your needs.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So can you give her a guess about what you think her need was in that moment?
I would say my guess was that her need was to feel that she was respected.
Okay, so it's your need for respect. And for her, the way to address that need, to fulfill that need, was for her to be able to sit where she wanted to sit.
Right.
For everybody to realize that she's important or something like that.
Yes. So
I'm really trying not to be sarcastic, but I'm trying to get the result right now.
But apparently,
behavior. Well, it's always unsettling, and I guess that's one of my strategies that I use is to just laugh about it because I think it's ridiculous. But yet, she is a real person with a real need that's alive and right now. So if we really want to resolve this, we have to acknowledge that.
Yes.
No matter how annoying you may find her at this moment, you have to acknowledge that actually she's a person and she's got needs. And those needs are important to her.
Right. That's the and
so do you think this was a need for respect?
I think it was a need for respect. Now I don't perceive that I in any way disrespected her, but she
No, I'm not saying that.
But I think that's whatever yes.
In that situation.
Yeah, in that situation, apparently it was a need for respect, feeling like you took my chair and, now you're making light of it. Now you're making fun of me because I asked you to give it back. I think that was her perception because I made a joke about it.
Right. Okay. So one of the things you could do is you could say to her, is respect important to you? It sounds to me like respect is very important to you. And you don't have to keep saying that for a while before she really hears it and before she really is willing to admit the possibility that you actually care about her needs.
Yeah, I have a question.
You can do that. It might take some time. It might take longer than you actually want to take. But in this case,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Right, it's like, okay, just give her a chair and let her go on and,
I don't know what you're thinking. You might not be thinking any of those things. But I know what I probably thinking.
I mean, because when she went on a tirade about it, I just kind of gave her a look and a smile like, you're awfully silly about this little thing. But, I didn't say anything else. It was just kind of a smile, like, and you're being absolutely ridiculous, but I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of even responding, kind of a smile, which, she could have read it as sarcasm, which probably it was. And then I just moved on to another table and sat down. But, it was kind of clear, I guess, that she was angry. And I felt like I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of thinking you upset me in any way at all. And the people at this table watching you having this tirade.
I suspect that's safety. Is that safety, you think?
I think so. And you know what? Like we mentioned the thing about earlier, the crying thing, learning all of these methods of not ever showing any
Attorney Wende Williams, Chicago, Cook County.
Oh, well, Attorney Wende Williams has joined us. Wonderful.
Okay, well, we need to continue this conversation. We don't need to continue it right now.
Well,
we need to continue it till we come to a resolution. So at some point, we're going to have a chat really soon, yeah?
Yes. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll put on pause right now, because since Wendy is in the midst of an event, and I know that she might have to get back and speak.
Welcome, Wendy. Welcome. I'm just thinking, if you really want to learn NBC, Naima, this has been great. This is a really good opportunity to learn a bit more NBC and practice it.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for that.
Yes, and for those of you all who are hanging on the edge of your seat to find out what happens next in NBC training, just stay with us. Well,
Okay,
thank you, Attorney
Wende.
Hey, how is everyone doing this wonderful, sunny, beautiful afternoon here in fabulous Chicago, Illinois? For those of you who are listening internationally, the sun is out. It's a beautiful day for a winter day here in Chicago.
This is what my dad used to do, right? My dad lived in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes I would tell him, and he goes, it's a beautiful day today. It's 80 degrees out. It's sunny. And I just feel like, I don't need to hear this right now.
And where it's cold.
Yeah, that's the perks of living in London. That's the perks of living in London.
Yes.
Yeah, we could have cloudy days. Quite a lot. But you know what? It was very warm today. It may not have been all that sunny, but it was warm. So I'm thankful for that anyway. Anyway, welcome. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. How are you doing, madame? How are you? I'm well.
Yes.
Personally, I'm doing all right, actually. I'm enjoying this today.
Good.
I'm enjoying this. We're talking about a lot of interesting stuff today. And I really want to hear about this little summit that we've been attending today. Tell us a bit about it.
So today, there was a summit about men and what men need to talk about in terms of resources and bettering themselves. Dr. Obari Cartman, I think, I want to make sure I pronounce the name right. Let me pull all this up. He did a summit
Yes,
today.
Obari Cartman,
and
yes.
That summit involved the community of men here, primarily on the South Side. And it was a restorative opportunity for men to get equipped, challenged, and healed and refreshed for the future. So we like that. We always like things where people are getting prepared for the future.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And it's what's new, I think. So what exactly is happening at this summit today?
Well, you know, we're not privy to a lot of things that's going on because it's for men, but we're here, again, circulating materials and literature regarding a big upcoming Cook County judge election. And I am on the ballot for that election. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excellent.
So we're just now leaving the summit after having a brief minimal contact with the participants at that summit. I'm sure there'll be more about that when Dr. Obari, let me get his name straight again.
Yes, Obari Cartman. Yes, Obari Cartman is his name. Yes, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a wonderful human being. I've talked to him before. Yes, Dr. Obari, Obari Cartman, Cartman, if someone wants to, find him on social media.
Yes.
But he has quite a wonderful reputation. But no, the details of what the men discussed in there, I would prefer that Dr. Cartman, be able to share that on his social media.
Yeah, we'll have to have him on to give us the details. Yes. But yeah, we have your picture up on the screen.
Our literature out for the judicial candidates. I'm one of them. Wende Williams, Lori Roper is another. A shot in life is a third, and a fourth one is Chelsea Robinson. And I'm Wendy Williams for those of you who are listening.
Yes. Yeah, we have your face up on the screen. Wendy Williams. We win with Wendy Williams. Over 25 years experience specializing in civil law and criminal defense matters, community services, social justices, recovery, graduate, test prep, professional school, entrance exams, and bar exam preparation programs. We win with Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we were
community service. Go ahead.
We were telling our audience about your over 25 plus years of course, in the courtroom and dealing especially with family law, which can get really ugly when families break apart and fight over things, whether it's a fight over divorce or fight over property. And, what happens to the love that's supposed to be in families when they end up taking each other to court? That's got to be painful even to watch, but especially when you have to assist in bringing peace. And so, we know that your experience makes you qualified to judge in those matters. But, we're taking a look at what it takes to mend relationships. And our host, Zhana, was giving us a course on what she specialized in, which is a process called nonviolent communication. But as someone in the criminal justice system, how does one bring people to a point of reconciliation when they are family members fighting each other in court?
Well, if you know a little bit, actually, let's if you know a lot about me in terms of that, because I have done a show before called Wendy Williams show on family, and one of the taglines for my show is, "Are you fit to be a parent?" So by the time the court system gets involved, it's too late.
Right.
Because my clients find out usually through discussions with me in preparing them for the judge's decision that many times they have really selected the wrong person to be a lifelong mate. Usually that person is suffering from something in their own childhood that did not get corrected. Usually some type of abuse and dishfunctionality. And we make the mistake of
trauma,
and money. The trauma from your childhood you will carry into all your relationships, friendships, romance, work, all of your relationships. And if those things go uncorrected, then you will drag that into a relationship, and usually the relationship will kind of self-destruct. And usually both parties are bringing in something from their past, their history, their childhood, that they will not realize the trauma that is destroying their relationship. Environmentally, for African Americans, it's slavery. And the way slavery dealt with our relationships. And then that morphed into a modern day issue. Sometimes when I'm talking to a client, I split the screen and I see 1823 and then I see 2024, and actually just the clothes and the technology is the only difference.
Wow. We were just talking about, the common experience we have of getting beaten as children and then told to shut up and stop crying. And, of course, and Zhana was sharing with us, the memory of the fact that sometimes during these slave beatings, if you cried out, you get beat worse, even beat to death. So we had to learn how to take pain and act like we weren't in pain. And then we do it to our children today.
We learned how to pretend. And that was a survival mechanism.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's something that we had to do to survive sometimes. And we still, unfortunately, carry these patterns. When I was a child, I'm told, I used to cry a lot. And I used to wake up in the morning crying. And then, let me just tell you a quick story. I was reading something, I don't know, a few months ago, and it was a woman talking about she had been from Hungary, and her mother found the doctor and the family doctor and said, "Can you help me, please? Because I can't stop my child from crying. My child is constantly crying. And can you help me?" And he said, "I will come round, but I can't actually help you because I'm having this." Also, I forgot to mention it was right after the Nazis had invaded Hungary. Hungary was the final country that the Nazis invaded. And he said to her, "Yes, I will definitely come round, but I can't actually help you because all my Jewish babies are crying all the time and they won't stop crying."
Wow.
So she said to him, "Well, why are they crying? Do they understand what's going on?" He said, "No, they're too young to understand. But they are picking up on their mother's anxiety."
Yes, they feel the sadness of those around them. Yes. Yes.
Can you imagine? No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what many of us grew up with. Distress around us, so we were feeling it even as babies. Sadness from our mothers and fathers.
Pick up on these things.
They do.
And then to be told, "Don't cry," that doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't leave anybody's anxiety. It's very little in mind. But this is what we call, and as I said, this is a survival mechanism that we learned since slavery. And I think we need to unlearn a lot of these patterns because they're very destructive.
Yes. And we unlearn them through resources like therapy, group therapy. Many have also graduated to addiction, compounding the trauma, all kinds of addictions. We always want to talk about drugs and alcohol, but I want to talk about sex, food, and gambling, religion. In your neck of the woods, Zhana, there's a man, I believe he's still with us. His name was Dr. Leo Booth. And Dr. Leo Booth wrote a book that even listed racism, okay, as an addiction. How about that?
Wow.
So, really?
We have to get into Dr. I don't have that information in front of me right now, but his name is Dr. Leo Booth. And if you Google him, you will find his book. I think the name of the book was Letting Go.
I've heard of that.
And
yes.
I would say letting go of bad habits, for instance. But you got to go through therapy. And this is what I tell people. Therapy is not the end, but therapy is very important. So you get the therapeutic intervention. You get the therapeutic intervention. But guess what? All those years you have learned. You have to unlearn, as you said earlier, a lot of bad habits. So I've had a theory since then that one thing is that you need to let go of is the pain. Because if you don't let go of the pain, you won't heal. And that's another book, Why People Don't Heal by Dr. Carol Miss. And then after that, you have the need, if you are ready to let go of the pain, you have the need to get coached into a new way of thinking that no longer has anything to do with your pain levels. You see?
So I have a question, Attorney Wende.
I understand in a way now, just from what you said, why a lot of people don't want to go into therapy, because it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm very fortunate because I've now found a therapist who is absolutely brilliant and treats trauma. That's what she does. It took many, many years for me to actually get the kind of therapist I need, however.
Well, I got lucky. I stayed in therapy. I still go in for tune-ups.
Tune-ups, I like that.
Because they thought I was doing okay. I like to share
that. Going for a tune-up.
This is actually saying before you came on. I've had that experience. I've been told, well, there's nothing wrong with you. We can't help you. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's not why. They told me that I was brainstorming, which means now I'm ready for coaching.
Oh.
So you were what? You were brainstorming.
I'm brainstorming. Like, why did he do that? Why did I do that? That's brainstorming.
Mm.
I'm stopping from doing that. Brainstorming, okay. Brainstorming now tells you or tells the therapist that the person may need coaching now.
Mm.
Now, this is what I was told. There was nothing wrong with me. They couldn't help me. Goodbye. And I had to really fight.
Oh, that's sad.
The therapy that I didn't even get any support. But fortunately, when you find out who the right people are, then you can get support you need. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Every time when you're very vulnerable, you don't necessarily feel like doing that kind of work. So just from what you just said, I'm thinking, well, okay, that explains a lot why people don't want to go to therapy sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And one of the saddest things I've ever seen is someone trying to rebuild their relationship or build a relationship for the first time, not knowing that the person has done no therapeutic work, no coaching. In fact, the person doesn't even understand why they are mistreating you or you are mistreating them in the relationship because they haven't worked on.
Most of us don't understand why we're doing what we're doing, I think.
Say it again?
Most of us don't have that kind of level of self-awareness. What do you think?
One more time. Say it one more time. I didn't understand you.
Okay, sorry. What I said was, I think most of us do not have that kind of self-awareness.
No. Oh, no. I work in the court system. Most of the time, it has to be imposed. Most of the time, it has to be a court order.
Wow. Well,
therapy for the family.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask that question, Attorney Wende. I was gonna ask that question because, of course, you're running for judge of the Cook County Circuit Court, and I've seen sometimes I've seen on court shows. I don't know how much happens in the court system, like on Judge Joe Brown. Some young person does some awful thing. And maybe usually they might have got sentenced to some jail time, but he would sentence them to, therapy, some kind of community service, some kind of place they go get help. Do you see yourself if you see that a person's problem could be resolved by some therapy, is it possible to, recommend that as a judge as opposed to, punishment that might give them jail time, but they're still going to come out just as damaged as they were when they went in? And, if there's no mandate, they might not seek help. So is that's a large part of their problem?
Any judge is going to be held strictly to the law of sentencing and otherwise. And that judge would have to have in the statute discretion to do anything other than what the statute requires. So there is no I committed murder because as a child they didn't give me my bottle, so therefore I don't want to go to jail.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah. So that and for your listeners, I'm quite a I use very colorful metaphors in order to describe what's going on.
Yes.
So, I don't know if it's a baby bottle or, molestation, but the point is the law has some leniency in the statute, but it's only for legal insanity. That's the only thing that counts.
I see. So
and that's going to be statutory. So if you think the Easter Bunny is going to strangle your child, and you try to pull the child away, but in actuality you have wrapped a belt around the child's neck and choked the child to death, then that person is going to more than likely be sent to a facility in which they can in which they can
get back in touch with
help.
reality, do some serious
Right, but after
mental help.
they do that, however, there's still punishment waiting.
Right.
In some states, and each state in the United States is different. And
Yes.
so, I'm not going to get into that because I'm talking to an international and national audience.
Okay.
But that is that's a scenario.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Now,
now, plan on, if I can, I plan on going into juvenile delinquency. Because if I go into juvenile delinquency, what I have a little bit more latitude, I'm still bound by statute, but there's more resources there. See, DCFS resources, and DCFS generally controls those resources. So the child can get care, protection. The parents can probably learn to redirect their behavior. But look at what we're saying here. The persons involved with the parenting of a child, we now know was fundamentally unfit to be a parent. And I say that not just emotionally and psychologically, but also financially unfit to be a parent. And it's sad if it comes down to something like that, but it's basically a problem. And that if we can address that, and the court refuses to address that, all they want to do is just give you the divorce and then set up some parenting guidelines. But right after that, the court, because of the First Amendment and how you interpret that and expand it, the First Amendment under the United States Constitution, is that you have pretty much, and I'm going to be colloquial about this, you pretty much have a right to be you, so long as you're not harming anyone else or disturbing the peace and dignity of the jurisdiction or the environment. Now, having said that, we can't, judges can't dictate who you're with, but we can establish some guidelines to protect. But one thing the judges can't do, wait for it, they can't modify behavior. So if he finds out before or after therapy, he or she finds out before or after therapy that they really don't love you and they can't make the adjustments fast enough. Yeah, I mean, because sometimes people eat up 15 and 20 years of their lives. They eat up children's lives. They eat up their grandchildren's lives with their dysfunctionality.
Yes.
And the court can't do anything about that.
Can't give you the time back.
Within the Black community, there's a lot of that dysfunction, I think, and that's a lot of it is to do with historical factors.
Yes.
And it becomes abusive. Sometimes the dysfunctionality is abusive. Like, I witnessed a guy do this in behind my own house. He was walking around with a newborn, and, we're all ready to kind of, gravitate around him. And I noticed he was smoking, and then as he was coming closer, he blew the smoke up the baby's nose. I almost fainted.
What stupidity!
That's the kind of dysfunction and abuse. And then we wonder why in 6th grade the kid is carrying a gun to school. Could it be?
Wow.
Could it be that in the development of the serotonin and everything that needs to be there to feel good, the oxytocin, all these hormones, if the mother is abusing her pregnancy by taking drugs, the brain is developing at the earliest stages, usually 1 to 3 months. And if the nervous system is developing, the nervous system, the brain is going to say, hey, we don't need that gland or that hormone that makes you happy and feel good because it's coming from somewhere else. Let's go to the next step. And then you do scans of the child's brain and you find out he's got a hole in his head where that healthy gland
should have been.
Emitting, so this gets real complicated. It's more than a notion. But if I can get into the juvenile division, if that makes sense for me to be there. I really want to steer the children away from that pressure cooker at the felony courts.
So, well, that's another question that I have, because there have been a lot of, every now and then you see in the news some 12-year-old or whatever that people want to try as an adult because of the heinousness of the crime. But usually there's been a whole history of that child being in the juvenile justice system before they got to that point. Is there a way, as a judge, that a decision can be made if you see, and maybe this is the responsibility of the lawyers to make the case, if someone has been in an abusive family their whole life, they got a whole history of abuse, neglect, abandonment, all these things, and you can see the pattern that basically set them up to be this person who did this horrible thing. And I know you got to follow statutes, but is it the lawyer's responsibility to make the case that that this person deserves some type of, I don't know, compassionate help beyond just punishment for the crime? Or, can the judge look at all the factors in the case and say, well, based on this, I have the leniency to sentence you to, so many years of therapy or so many years of emotional help, or, some type of, community service, or something that will help heal the young person, as opposed to, look, you did an adult crime, we just put you away for life because you're incorrigible. I mean, I don't know. Are there?
Is conservatives in this country would say very much, we need more prisons. We need to build more prisons, and we need to put more people in prisons. We need more prison days. We need more prison officers, and none of that is addressing the problem, because, as you said a little while ago, Attorney, oh gosh, you know what? My memory is going. But,
I would like to answer her question, because it's a complicated question.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the top. Each state in the United States has the right to make their own laws regarding their citizens. Mm-hmm. That would include the juvenile.
Yes.
Now, some states that I have had the privy of either practicing in or made aware of, their laws usually range like this. Statutorily, you can do motions hearings at the juvenile court level to determine the fitness of the child. Mm-hmm. Will this child? I don't think there's any laws right now. As I think I'm standing somewhere where I can't get a hold to the computer, but I can tell you that most states do not want to put children in jail under the age of 18.
Right.
However, if you have a history or a pattern and your family is not reaching out to help you, and you are under the age of 16, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to adult prison on this occasion. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is sometimes they will serve a juvenile sentence. Some states will have you serve a juvenile sentence from 15 to 21 or 18, and then bound you over to adult prison. Okay. Right. So that's the leniency. And in between that time, of course, you can receive resources, you can receive therapy, you can receive an education, you can participate in group therapy, you can participate in chemical therapy, you can participate in all types of different therapies that will help you redirect, as a child I'm talking, the behavior. Sometimes parents who have allowed these things to happen, their parental rights can be terminated. Ooh, because the child, from 0 to 12, where were you? You weren't in the system. So who were you with? My parents. And what were they doing? Abusing me, neglecting me. And sometimes there's a department of the juvenile justice system that includes dependency and neglect. So there's two things, dependency and neglect, and then there's delinquency, okay? And so if that in fact is the case, then there's stages. I mean, it's not that the system is ignoring anything. One of the things that the system has done in America, you have to look at America historically, how they deal with families, especially people of color. And I know everybody's hip to the book called Caste by Isabel Wilkerson that talks about hierarchy that has higher caste systems like they do in India for the last 2,000 years and lower caste systems. And you're treated differently. So you could have parents that want to be wonderful, but they might be affected by the trauma of a caste system and its hierarchy. Okay, so but see, you can't ignore that, because when I'm in court, sometimes they got my client on video shooting up the place. So I can't say that's not him, because they'll bring his mother in as an ID witness. Okay, so what I have to do is talk about how this kid got to this point and see if we can glean some leniency for that child. I would be that judge. I would be that judge here in Cook County in 2024. I would be that judge that would be looking for the leniency in a juvenile court situation. Now, when you start getting up in 18 and 21, there is going to be a problem. So you start getting up. I said, when you start getting up at the age of 18 to 21, you know, you're looking at a pot boiler there. We can't help you too much, you know, because how long have you known? Where were your resources? And look at the damage that has been done. I mean, victims have rights as well. So you do the best you can. And I think juvenile would be a better place to start, because if I start in the adult pressure cooker, I mean, I'm duct taped and bound by statutes, sentencing statutes, guidelines. Yeah.
Okay, So, a slight change of subject. And thank you so much for explaining all that. And I think this in a way relates to what we've just been talking about. I would like to know, in your experience, what kind of issues do you think that men need to talk about amongst themselves? But men, you know, a lot of our guys, they just don't want to talk about things. And I'm not even just talking about black men. I think for black men it's even more difficult. But what kind of issues do you think that men need to be talking about?
I just said it. Are you unfit to be in a relationship? What are the guidelines for unfit?
That question.
You said men. I was talking about both parties.
Okay.
So I'm talking about
specifically which I think is great that is happening. In your experience within the courtroom, what kind of issues do you think men need to talk about?
It's too late when you get to the courtroom. That's what I'm telling you. It's too late.
So if they're in court, then it's already the situation's already beyond repair.
The damage is already too great to in the wake of murdering all these people, you now want to stand up and talk about the fact that you need therapy. It's a little late. What are we going to do with all these victims over here?
Oh,
what do you think we can do as prevention, or what do you think particularly men can do as prevention before things get to that point? Because I think prevention is...
Well, I have my own little theory based on two books that I've read. The books are Black Pain, which I think is applicable to anybody. Black Pain, written by Terry Marie Williams, and Black Rage.
Oh,
and now Caste. Black Rage, by the way, was written by Greer and Cobb, and two psychiatrists. Black Rage was written by Black Pain was written by Terry Williams. Okay, she was a social worker who had a real interesting life, and she wrote about it in between her pain. And then there's Cast by Dr. Isabel Wilkerson. Cast, Caste, The Origin of Your Discontent. Now, I also have my own little guideline, and Naima has heard it 1,000 times the year I did the show. Number one, before you choose to marry someone or have children by someone, ask yourself these questions about their fitness and your own. Did you come out of an environment of habitual criminals?
Ooh.
Did you come out of an environment of addicts and alcoholics?
Mm.
Did you come out of an environment of domestic violence and abuse? And did you come out of an environment of mental illness, particularly in this day and age, paranoid schizophrenia, as well as bipolar behavior? Now, let's answer those questions. I know I have to raise my hand because I am a citizen of the United States, and I have been, I'm a descendant of slaves in America. So my family is impacted by all of those things. However, the next question on the two-prong analysis is, one, does your family fit into that category? And number two, what did you do about it? Did you recognize, or did someone help you to recognize that you had a problem? And I'm going to put you guys in my business. How I found out was as a lawyer. I'm reading psyche valves for my clients. I'm reading psyche valves. But after I read the psyche valve, I was able to identify the behavior. But today, we got YouTube, we got social media, we got presidential elections where you can look at the behavior of someone and say to yourself, is that a person that's fit to be anything, responsible for anybody? Am I fit to be a mother if I'm a drug addict, if I come out of an abusive relationship, if there's mental health? Maybe I'm not. But here's the kicker. She may not realize that, but the man that she meets is going to have to realize it. Otherwise, they've got a lot of work to do. And 9 times out of 10, it won't get done unless you address habitual criminal issues, the abuse and neglect issues, the addictions and holics, because it's not always drugs. As I said before, Dr. Leo Booth's book, Letting Go, identified, and he's not the only one. I think the late Dr. John Bradshaw even identified racism as an addiction.
Wow.
Among all the other ones that we're aware of.
Interesting.
Shopaholics, gambling addicts, all those kinds of habitual ways of being can destroy a relationship unless, what I always say, Naima, unless you are compatible with that problem. I like criminals. I like being abused. I like using drugs. I like being an alcoholic. I like being a gambler. Me too.
You attract what you are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Too. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And sometimes it's a match.
You're not aware of it, because I think that's probably true for most of us most of the time. You know, in my family, because we weren't allowed to talk about anything.
Right.
I mean, in my family, I was the one who was a fighter, right? So I would talk about stuff. But nobody else in my family wanted to talk about or hear about the problems that we had as a family. So that was a big problem for me. We're not. We're basically walking in the disaster area, some of us, and we're not even aware of it. And my family has always sort of investing it in appearing normal. And again, I think that is a survival strategy. It doesn't make it okay, though.
Yeah.
So I think that's true for a lot of us. We want to get on in life, we want to get on in the world. We don't want people to actually see our pain. So for whatever reason, it brought you to
and then how can you argue with a man or a woman that says, I want a divorce because you did a good job of hiding this? You shielded it from, you showed me the representative. Why shouldn't he leave? Because you're not a whole person. Why shouldn't she leave? You're not a whole person. Here you are, 36 years old. We got 3 or 4 kids, and we find out that you really don't want to be in this marriage for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. You've got to let go. That's what Dr. Leo Booth's book is about. Letting
go. Yes. Well, we are almost out of time.
But one more thing.
Yeah, we want to make sure we let people know where is there a website they can hear more about you, your candidacy, your work. Give us a website and contact information.
Oh, my website is under construction, but it's elect Wende Williams for Judge.
Okay.
And it's under construction right now.
Is that the number 4 or the word 4, FOR?
And that will be a number 4. We were trying to save space. So don't forget, Wende Williams, I'm running for judge right here in Chicago, Cook County, countywide. I'll be on all of the ballots. My punch number is 148. 148. Look out for Lori Roper. Her punch number is 149. Look out for Chelsea Robinson. Her punch number is 142. And look out for Ashanta Rice. Her punch number is 155. That's 142, 148, 149, and 155 between March 4th and March 19th, 2024. Look for us on the ballot, and we're waiting to serve you.
Well, all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Attorney Wende. It's so crazy to come and show and share your experience.
Yes, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to the listening audience that's out there too.
All righty. We're so grateful for all of you. Thank you, Zhana, joining us from London, bringing in the world and everywhere else. And we'll be back next first Saturday with Success Strategies with Zhana. And come on back tomorrow for
you can hear every show in the archive.
Soul Purpose Healing with Viata here on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. And as always,
all participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
We appreciate you all for being with us today. And as always, we encourage you to like our Female Solution Facebook page, subscribe to our Female Solution YouTube channel, and follow our website, thefemalesolution.com, so you can join us on multiple channels every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, right here on the Female Solution. And our host, Zhana, one last word as we go.
One question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi. One question that I needed to ask Attorney Wende, which I would have really liked to ask, is that if there's all these progressive choices that judges can make, which to me sounds amazing, it sounds really positive, how did someone like Trump end up getting elected? I'm really baffled by this.
Well, I'm not baffled because leadership is a reflection of the state of consciousness of the people. And when you have people, when you have people who admire someone simply because they have wealth and they think it's cute that person is rude and crude, and they seek to emulate that person. And when that person runs for office, they think that person would be a good leader because they have money. Well, that's the mentality of the people who voted for him. And if you have a large enough number of people,
as well. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. That's what we have been taught to value. Money. We've been taught to value people with money and to believe people with money are more valuable and more intelligent and more worthy than people without money. So he is a reflection of the value.
I understand.
Yes. We can't blame anybody but ourselves for that.
Unless Once his daughters decide to put up the money, which they might do.
Yes. You know, whatever manifests in terms of leadership, it is a reflection of what is in the hearts of the people. We can't get angry. We have to look at ourselves. It's just like a marriage. If you marry somebody who's abusive, what does that say about you? That says you didn't value yourself enough to get out of a relationship that someone was treating you badly. You can't get mad at the person. They're reflecting something in you. It always comes down to loving yourself. If you love yourself, then you choose leaders that are loving and wise and will be compassionate and create systems and programs that will help you. If you don't love yourself, then you elect people who look down on you and abuse you and neglect you because you don't believe that you're worthy of good treatment. Everything is a reflection of itself.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Well, we're always excited to hear your conversation.
I want to hear some more from her.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to have her back. We'll have to have her back in the future. But you know, one thing that I will say about our earlier conversation when we talked about the experience of having someone get angry at something as little as someone sitting in their seat, and my response, it's huge. It represents being respected. And most people who have had an experience of disrespect in their childhood, whether it's from their parents slapping their face or beating them or hitting them or scolding them in public, whenever someone does something that triggers that memory of hurt and that memory of being disrespected, that's when they're going to respond. That's when they're going to overreact. So she was responding to her memory of being disrespected. I was responding to my memory of being ridiculed when I showed that my feelings were hurt. So we both were responding to our childhood experiences. And that's what happened.
Because getting triggered by your childhood experience.
Yes.
That's something that happens a lot.
Yes.
This is something that happens every day, really. We get triggered by our childhood experience.
That's what it is. All the time.
Until we heal. And this is the thing, right? This is what I always come back to. We need to heal. We have so much stuff that we need to heal. I'm talking specifically about African Americans right now, people of African heritage. But it's not just we that need to heal. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen on this planet.
Yes, absolutely. So well, of course, we're going over time. That happens sometimes. But we've got a caller on the line that I'm going to see if I can open the mic. You're actually on her twice. But I'm going to see if you did, in fact, get a chance to go to the men's conference at all. Let me see. Let me open up. Oops. Okay. All right, let me see. I don't know which one should I call. Okay. Brother Nelson Bay, Admiral Nelson Bay, are you on this line? Are you on this line? Let's see. Are you with us? Okay, I think he may have.
Are you there? Okay.
I think he may have dropped. Yes, or he might be on mute. Probably. Well, because the event goes on till 3, so they're probably still going on, which is great. But I will probably on the upcoming show see if I can have Dr. Obari Cartman on to talk about that, because I would love to hear the men's perspective about what they're doing to heal their trauma, and how are they learning more about the feelings of women, because most men did not grow up learning compassion toward women at all. So that has to be
themselves.
Or themselves.
Most men did not grow up learning about compassion towards themselves,
right?
Let alone anybody else.
Right. They learned to be judgmental toward themselves and to mask their pain because they were ridiculed whenever they cried. So a lot of things that they're feeling, they not only won't talk about, they won't show it because they get
Yeah, that's
ridiculed if they're not being whatever we consider manly, which means being emotionless. So we have a lot of work to do on ourselves. We really have a lot of work to do on ourselves.
I was just said, Naima, I would love to give a new perspective on all this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to bring that perspective soon here on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show as we continue this month to talk about love, because love can heal everything. That really is the solution to everything. Love is the solution to everything.
Yeah. Love is incredibly powerful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But then on the other hand, different people mean different things by love. So that has to be looked at as well. Anyway, absolutely. I'm going to go, but it's been lovely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And
my show, and I'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon. And thank you all for joining us. And we will see you all next week. And of course, join us tomorrow for Soul Purpose Healing with Zhana, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. And whatever time it is on your neck of the woods, tune in live and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Good night, my beautiful, beautiful listeners. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night.
Good night. And we will see you all next time on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.